Hi, welcome to Right to the Top. I'm Adam. In today's video, what I want to talk to you about is vocabulary. And we're going to do some vocabulary building. Now, more specifically, I need you and I want you to start building topic-specific vocabulary. And I'm going to give you some examples from government and politics today. Okay? Now, what do I mean by this? I mean that you should get yourself, again, as you're building your idea bank, you should collect words that are very specific to this topic that can replace the more commonly used words in this topic. For example, everybody is going to use the word government, but I've seen many essays where you see government, 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 government throughout the essay. What you want to do to impress your graders to get a higher score is you want to use synonyms, first of all, and also you want to be very specific vocabulary. If you're talking about a specific type of government, use the specific type of language for it. If you want it more general, you can have more general. So we're going to look at a few expressions and terms that you can use instead of the word government. And again, as you're building your idea bank, create sentences with those new words. And if you're not sure how to build an idea bank, you can follow the link up top here and see how to build an idea bank to prepare for your test. So we're going to start with the general word government. Now, people don't realize that government is a little bit too general. What is a government? It's a lot of people. It's a lot of institutions. It's a lot of little guys doing little things like stamping papers or filling out forms. When you say government, you're not being specific enough, okay? But if you want to be a bit general, you can still do that. Instead of government, talk about leaders, or in some countries, rulers. But even then, you have to be a little bit careful because that's not very specific either. When you talk about society, leaders can also include business people, artists, writers, academics, all kinds of people can be leaders. So you have to be a little bit more specific. You can say government leaders. That's a good collocation there to use as well. But let's get a bit more specific. When we're talking about the authorities are the people in charge. They're the people who have the power to make laws and enforce laws to make sure that people keep the laws. So when you talk about the authorities, you're talking about the government. And in the more specific situations, you can use it to talk about the police. The police can be the authorities or the government can be the authorities. Okay. Another way to talk about them, these people who basically make the rules, who are the leaders, elected officials. Elected. What does elected mean? It means chosen. You had an election, you voted for these people. Once they win the election, they are officials. They are official leaders. They are recognized by the government, by the people, by the law as the leaders. So they are elected officials. Okay? Government leaders, same thing. You can also talk about legislators. This is a very high-end word, very good quality word. Or you can just say lawmakers. Legislators, lawmakers are synonyms. They mean the same thing. These are the people who are making the laws to govern the population, the citizens, right? Good words to use. Now, if you want an expression, something a bit more idiomatic, like a collocation, the powers that be. Now, if you're not exactly sure who is running your country, is it a prime minister, is it a president, is it a chancellor, then just say the powers that be. Basically, whoever is in power, whoever has the power. If you live in a dictatorship, that's who has the power. So you can use this expression to cover everybody. And again, we're talking about the government. Now, here's a sentence. It is the public's responsibility to ensure their elected officials, or that their elected officials properly manage the country's resources. If we're talking about a task asking you whose responsibility is it to reduce pollution in the world, is it the people or is it their governments? Instead of saying governments, say elected officials. This is what they were chosen to do. This is what they were voted for, to come into power and manage the country's resources. Now, let's talk about politicians. The most common words I see are politicians and leaders. Politicians, leaders, politicians, leaders. Be more specific. If you're talking about a local area, talk about the mayor. If you're talking about the city, don't say the leader of the city. Call him by his name or her name, the mayor. The mayor is the elected official running the city, okay? Premier or governor. In Canada, we have a premier. In the States, in the United States, they have governors. The state is run by the governor. In Ontario, in Canada, the province is run by the premier. If you're talking about your country, if you're going to use your country as an example, make sure you know the right words to describe the right people, the right positions. Okay? We also have senators. In the US, we have senators. In Canada, we have senators. They make laws, etc. We have congressmen and congresswomen, congressmen, women, man, woman. In Canada, we have MPs, members of parliament. Again, these are the people who make the laws, who are the legislators. They legislate, they're legislators, they're lawmakers. Okay? And if you, again, find out your country's specific, this is president, it's a little bit cut off here. I'm sorry about that. Okay, let me fix that. Oh, there we go. President, chancellor, prime minister, find out the person's position in your country. In Canada, we have a prime minister. In the US, they have a president. In Germany, they have a chancellor. Find out the title of your leader or your country's leader and use that. Again, all we're doing here, you can use any of these words. It's all fine. The whole point is to show the graders, the IELTS and TOEFL graders, that you have a range of vocabulary. That's what this is all about, to get your lexical resource score. Now, not only should mayors all over the country create bylaws, but MPs and other lawmakers should also legislate meaningful changes on a national level. So what do we have here? We have mayors. Mayors create bylaws. Bylaws are city laws. They don't apply outside of the city. They're only for the city, okay? They're local laws. MPs, members of parliament. Now, the first time you use it, you can say MPs in an academic essay. Members of parliament, brackets, MP. And then if you want to use it again later in the essay, you can just use MPs. And again, legislate. So legislators, these are the lawmakers, they legislate, the verb, they make legislation, make laws. Okay, good. Jurisdiction. Now this is a very good word that I never see anybody use. It's not very high end. It's not very rare. Get to understand this word. The jurisdiction is basically the area where a person has power. So a mayor has power over the city that he is the mayor of or she is the mayor of. Okay, so that is his or her jurisdiction. The mayor of Toronto, for example, cannot make laws for people living in Montreal. Okay, Montreal is a different jurisdiction. So jurisdiction is an area. So get to know the different jurisdictions. We have municipality. Instead of saying city government, say the municipality. That means city government. A municipality is a synonym for city. The municipal government is the government that's running the city. You have the mayor, you have the deputy mayor, etc. If you have in the States, you have the United States of America, you have states. In Canada, you have provinces. So you have state government, you have provincial government. Again, you can use noun or adjectives. Provincial is the adjective, state is noun or adjective, municipal, adjective, municipality, noun. And local or national, if you're not exactly sure if you have cities or states or provinces, just be a little bit more abstract. City or local government or national government. But if you want to be more specific about the national government, we call it a federal government. Okay? So here's another sentence for you. This requires collaboration. So again, making changes to reducing pollution requires collaboration, working together among the municipal, city, provincial, province, and federal government, country. Okay, so you're going all different levels of government must work together if it is to succeed. Okay, so that's it. That's all the vocab I have for you today. Very topic specific. Make sure that when you're preparing your idea bank for any specific topic, think of the words that are likely to be used the most often, the most common words, and make sure you have synonyms for those. And then make sure that you have very precise language. Try to be very specific with your language if you want to impress the graders. Okay? Now, if you like this video, please give me a like on YouTube and subscribe to my channel. And if you have any questions about this video, please ask me in the YouTube comment section. I'll be happy to answer you. And come back for more videos about writing, grammar, test preparation, all the good stuff. Okay? I'll see you again soon.